I think the conversation needs to change in some ways where we really uplift men and show them what their role is in feminism. Yeah. If you're not secure enough in yourself to feel okay when other people have opportunities that may not look or sound or be like you, then I don't know if you're actually powerful. We act like there are not men that are out there that are allies.
Yeah, they are like feminists actually.
Right, so we have to normalize that for them.
So just a couple of questions around solutions. Okay. My very first question is going to be, how can feminism benefit African and Caribbean communities?
Right, so I think something that people don't know is that there have been studies that suggest that when a woman is empowered, the entire community shifts, especially in impoverished communities.
You want to talk about that a bit more? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so they have been shown there are literal companies that are specifically geared toward giving loans to women in minority countries for the purpose of them building businesses. Because it has been shown that when women have money, when women are empowered, the literal community, they make sure that the kids are taken care of. They make sure that the kids go to school. They make sure that, and so because it has such structural implications, it's just significantly better. Not saying anything about men, but it's just significantly better based on the way that a woman is made, the way the woman goes about life. She's just significantly better at making sure that the entire community is then uplifted. And so what happens is, when you see the benefit of empowering a woman, then it really begs the question, why don't we? Right? Like, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
And I think the reason, we know the reasons. We know that it's because some men, not all, but some men like to protect their abundance. Some men, the same way white people to some degree, like to continue to maintain their privilege. Yeah. And I think a question to that, or challenging that, then kind of allows them to lose their power. And again, going back to this idea that what is your power built in if your power is only dependent on the oppression of someone else, right? Yeah. If you're not secure enough in yourself to feel okay when other people have opportunities that may not look or sound or be like you, then I don't know if you're actually powerful.
And there's like a problem, right?
Right.
Because you're kind of riding on the next person to get to the top.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting. So like my second question is going to be, how can we change the thinking about feminism? So like when you talk about men wanting to protect their space and their privilege, so what is the best way to go about changing this thinking and all of this standpoints?
Right. I think what I've heard from men specifically is that they feel like feminism is an attack to them directly. And I think that, one, as feminists, I think the conversation needs to change in some ways where we really uplift men and show them what their role is in feminism. I've seen recently a Me Too speech, and when they were talking about it, the woman at the end of the speech, I can't remember who gave the speech, but the woman at the end of the speech, she said, and to all the men that have also supported the movement, have also been a part of vocalizing that these are issues, etc. So I think sometimes when we talk as women, we ignore men. We act like there are not men that are out there that are allies.
Yeah, they are like feminists actually.
Right, and so we have to normalize that for them.
So you kind of want the conversation to include like men who are kind of part of the conversation.
Right.
So like it doesn't look awkward for me as a man to say I'm a feminist.
No. I've been on dates and they've been like, I'm a feminist. I'm like, good for you.
So like were you more attracted to them as feminists?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so like if you try to get through to Athena, just be a feminist. Be a feminist and she's gonna give you some extra attention, okay? I just gave you like really good information.
Good point.
Okay, so kind of get the men involved.
Right.
Make them feel more accepted as feminists, and it's going to kind of help
normalize it.
Yeah, normalize it like in society. It kind of makes people see this as commonplace.
It's also how we raise our boys, though.
Right. Okay.
Right.
What do you mean?
So we raise our boys and we raise our sons to say, you can't cry.
Yeah.
You're a girl. You're a sissy.
If you cry.
Right? If you cry or if you show emotion, you are feminine if you show any form of quote unquote weakness. When it's not weakness, it's vulnerability.
Like just how you are, right?
Right. If you like to cook, you're not a sissy if you like to cook.
Yeah.
And it should not be something where families, especially in Afro and Caribbean culture, where we are raising boys that don't know how to cook. Because right now we're moving in a time where financially most people cannot have stay-at-home wives anymore.
Yeah, true.
It's just the way the world is moving.
Yeah.
And so because that is the way the world is moving, it's really inappropriate, and you're not preparing them to be able to maneuver in the world that you're saying that you're shaping them for. And so it's really important that we consider that when we are raising boys and we're raising girls, that we teach them both to respect their bodies.
Yep.
That their bodies are both valuable and should not be shared because honestly there's incurable gonorrhea out there.
Sure, no,
That's a good enough reason for you to respect your body.
Okay, so my very last question, Athena, right? So like, how do you navigate your way as a feminist in a conservative household?
Whoa.
Yeah, like I mean, like you talked about how it's not so widely accepted, and
right, especially in our culture.
Like there's this like antagonism, right?
Yes.
So how do you, as a feminist, kind of find your way through all of this craziness? And
right, I think that part of it is one, getting to the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the freedom of men, you have to make it personal for them. When you talk about their mothers and their sisters, it becomes personal for them. At the end of the day, I do have conversations with my father, and he's like, I'm a manist. And
what does that mean?
So that's his opposite version of feminism. That's like, I believe in men's rights, and I believe in men's equality.
But like, you can believe in men's rights and still believe like in women's rights also. Like, there's no like.
Of course. But I think the point that he's trying to make is that men are not supported. Okay. You have women's shelters, right?
Sure,
you have organizations that are geared toward women, but men don't have that. And my counter argument to that is always, are you waiting for a woman to make that for you too?
Sure.
Because that's what we do. We have this expectation from mothers because of how we raise our kids, especially in Afro-Caribbean cultures, from wives, because of the fact that we cook and we clean and we do all these things, that we are the problem solvers of the household, and you just bring money. And the problem with that is that then there are these major things like mental health, like physical disability. You have the vets, right, that come from war, and they're still struggling with how to normalize themselves. And a lot of those were Afro-Caribbean people. We just aren't talked about as much. But the point is, they have all of these things that are occurring, and there's almost like this weight for a woman to solve it, for a woman to create that. Yeah. And so I think the reality is the way that you maneuver it is that you have to settle in the fact that this is who you are.
Yeah.
The reason why you believe in the things that you do is substantial enough, and that sometimes it's appropriate to be vocal, and sometimes you just let life teach people.
Yeah. So like it's more like a mix of different strategies. Right. So just look for what works best for you.
Right.
And kind of go with that particular approach.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's been really interesting.
For sure.
I enjoyed talking to you today, Athena. I've learned like a lot from gender equality to just kind of giving equal opportunities to like men and women, right?
Right.
And how you think this is going to help our communities get better. So I'm just hoping like people kind of watch these kind of conversations and
please
learn from it. And even how men can be feminist also.
Yes.
Like that's actually a big deal. Like if we
it's with everything.
I mean, this is like a very long conversation.
For sure.
Can go on and on about
on and on.
But I'm just hoping like this little information kind of helps people make better choices.
Yes, please.
Kind of helps create like a better society for men and also
women. Yeah.
And just kind of help us be better people. Right? Okay, actually, Athena hosts a very interesting show for like women, right?
Yes. So I have my own little like group that I meet with, and I'm also thinking about steamrolling that into a podcast.
Oh,
it's called Soulful Sunday for the Soulful Woman.
Okay.
And we talk about everything. I think a lot of people are Christian and kind of set in that, and so I kind of challenge some of those beliefs.
Okay.
But I want to create a space where all women feel super supported about all things. So if it's economic, investing, like part of empowering women is being able to have more women realize that they have options.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
So interesting today. And then one thing also, like Sofa Convos is all run by volunteers. Like everyone on the sofa and even like behind the scene we're all volunteers. I'm just kind of trying to make societies better, right?
Right.
And then if you want to join this conversation, just let us know.
Please join.
Send us a message, whatever you want to do, let us know. We'll be happy to have you here, okay? So until the next episode. Are you winking at the audience?
I am winking at the audience. I'm letting the guy know who's about to put the comment under. Please do.
Until the next episode, we will see you very soon. Thank you.
Very soon. Thank you.
Bye, guys.